Those of you who follow this channel know that I do my best in horror countdown in the month of October, not at the end of the year. Still, there have been quite a few fantastic horror films released since my countdown began, so I thought it would be a good thing to list the best horror films released since October 1st, 2025. I'm listing these films by order of release. You'll just have to stick around and subscribe so you don't miss where and when they show up in my final countdown next October. But now it's time to look at some great movies. And away we go. Good Boy was released on October 3rd, 2025. This was one of my favorite films I've seen since I started my countdown on October 1st. Yes, it is guilty of tugging on the heartstrings pretty darn hard, but damn it if I didn't fall for it hook, line, and sinker. Indy the dog is fantastic in this film that simply shifts the point of view to a dog attempting to protect his human from dark paranormal forces. It's simple but effective and occasionally downright scary, but it works in making the viewer invest wholeheartedly in the well-being of its characters. I loved every minute of this movie. Be sure to pack a hanky. This one will bring a tear to even the hardest of horror hearts. VHS Halloween was released on October 3rd, 2025. This year's found footage anthology was, as usual, a mixed bag, but when it's good, it's very, very good. I liked quite a few of the installments. The Coochie Coochie Coo segment from Anna Zlokovic deserves to be expanded into a feature-length movie as it has creepy imagery and some nice backstory that can be expanded about a house that only appears on Halloween and a creepy mother who steals kids and makes them her own. The other stellar segment is the unsettling kid print from Alex Ross Perry, which pulls no punches and delivers some of the most disturbing moments in the entire series. The rest of the segments are decent, though somewhat repetitive. Still, Zlokovic and Perry's segments make this one worth seeking out. Match was released on October 3rd, 2025, and I was surprised at how diabolical and nasty this film got. Yes, it's a Tubi exclusive, and those films haven't had a reputation of being good, but Match worked in a guttural and gross way for me. While social media and dating app movies really aren't my cup of tea, this one scoots right past all of the cliches and plops our heroine into a true house of horrors. The scenes between Mother and her hunchbacked monstrous son she is trying to find a match for are truly nightmarish and not for the squeamish. This one is the right kind of wrong. Bone Lake came out on October 3rd as well. While somewhat predictable, Bone Lake works by having a strong cast and some nice gory turns during the climax. This one is 80% sexy thriller one might have seen late night on Skinamax, but once all the chips are on the table, it gets vicious and over the top. Think of it as a less cerebral and more sensual version of Speak No Evil. It's not a perfect movie, and it ends on a weird note, but there's no denying that Maddie Hassan deserves bigger and better roles, despite the fact that her haircut makes her look a bit too much like Florence Pugh in this movie. Other came out on October 17th, 2025. David Moreau, who delivered such memorable horrors as Eels and Mads, teams up with underestimated actress Olga Kurylenko for a brutal psychological horror film filled with symbolism, stylistic turns, and horrendous terror. The film focuses on a monster who roams a fenced-in home that tears off faces, and a woman who returns to that home to confront the abuse her mother did to her. This is a powerful little gem with some cool twists and a remarkably potent and painful finale. In Our Blood was released October 24th, 2025. I haven't had a chance to review this one yet, but it's a found footager and a really great one about a daughter returning home to confront her recovering addict mother. I love the way this film unfolds as the daughter documents this reunion with her cameraman tagging along. While I should have known what to expect with this one, the final moments did manage to take me by surprise. Still, this dark, gripping, and conspiracy-laden film proves that there's still much life in the first-person perspective subgenre. Frankenstein came out on November 7th, 2025. Passion and power oozes from every frame in Guillermo del Toro's masterpiece adaptation of the Mary Shelley classic. I've seen the story interpreted in every form of media, but I think this is my new favorite version. While I do think that Mia Goth's role was a bit forced into the plot, there's no denying that both Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi offer up iconic turns on these classic characters. Much like Francis Ford Coppola's iconic but flawed turn with Bram Stoker's Dracula, Del Toro delivers a modern epic horror masterpiece that'll be hard to top in the future. Keeper came out on November 14th, 2025. Oz Perkins is back, again, with his third horror film within a year and a half, and this one feels much more intimate and personal than both The Monkey or Longlegs. Like few other directors, Perkins is able to convey that uncanny dreamlike distance captured so well in David Lynch's films. Keeper not only delivers a fantastically emotional performance by Tatiana Maslany, it also sports some absolutely unique and terrifying monsters revealed during its climax and hinted at expertly throughout the film in obscured and out-of-focus backgrounds. This one deserves to be seen by more people, and I can't wait to see what Perkins has up his diabolical sleeves next. The Carpenter's Son came out on November 14th as well. Not even Nicolas Cage's over-the-top performance could ruin this powerful and quite horrific rendition of the trials of Jesus Christ as he develops the understanding of his power and his place in the world. Cage does have a hammy scene or two, but still delivers one of his most heart-wrenching performances as Joseph, the overprotective father, who is doubtful if he's a fool or not for believing him. But the true standout is Isla Johnston's turn as Lucifer, a seemingly innocent-looking girl with devious intent towards our boy Jesus. I think the fact that this was a religious tale that takes religious beliefs rather seriously turns some people off of it, but this is a straight-up unapologetic horror film that shouldn't be missed. Reflection in a Dead Diamond came out on December 5th, 2025. This is another one that I haven't reviewed yet, and while it might not exactly fit snugly into the horror genre, it definitely has some horror elements. At its heart, Reflection in a Dead Diamond is an ode to those old giallo/spy films that aped the 007 films back in the 70s. It's a story about a weary and retired spy who never got over his femme fatale he believes he lost many years ago. Through flashback, it tells the somewhat comic booky and super stylized story of how they met, who they killed, and how they formed a relationship that lasted decades. If you've seen Let the Corpses Tan or Amer, you know there are no filmmakers out there today like Helene Catet and Bruno Forzani. And if you're a fan of unique and vibrant cinema, you deserve a treat like this one. You Are Not Me came out December 6th, 2025. This holiday horror film was surprisingly potent as a young woman, her wife, and their adopted child return to her parents' home a day early for Christmas. The parents are less pleasantly surprised and more standoffish as it seems they have taken in a woman who lives in her room and has taken over her role as their daughter. As the woman attempts to understand these bizarre moves by her parents, the walls begin closing in, and soon she finds out why her parents don't want her there. This is a fun little folk horror set around the holidays. It works in that you can never go home again way, and will really resonate with anyone who has tried to recapture a past that is no longer reachable. Silent Night, Deadly Night came out on December 12th, 2025. Director Mike P. Nelson may have missed the boat with his Jason Universe Sweet Revenge short, but he redeems himself with this powerfully demented reimagining of the classic Silent Night, Deadly Night. Swiping a bit from Venom and Dexter, this version of Billy has Santa's voice in his head, guiding him towards those who have been naughty this year. The result is a wickedly raucous and energetic film that peaks with a massacre at a secret neo-Nazi rally. That peak might have come a bit soon in the narrative, making the rest of the film pale in comparison, but this is still a refreshing remake that takes what worked with the original and improves upon it while still respecting what came before. Finally, Influencers came out on December 12th, 2025. Curtis David Harder returns with a sequel to his excellent Influencer film with Influencers, which basically picks up right where the last one left off. I love the follow-up that takes things to a whole new brutal level, and we see the identity-stealing chameleon CW, played by the enchanting Cassandra Nod, taken off her game and struggling as her victim, Madison, played by Emily Tennant, closes in on her for revenge. Nod and Tennant are stars in the making, but I hope they don't get too big too soon so they can return in a third film. Filmmaker Harder delivers a movie that will be pleasing to both women with the exotic life and locales and men with the violence and absolutely gorgeous women. Can't wait for the third film, and if you haven't seen Influencer or Influencers, get to it pronto. Well, those are 13 horror films that you should look out for that were released since my Best in Horror countdown in October. Be sure to tune in this October to see where these films end up on my Best of the Year countdown for 2026, and come back every week to see my reviews of films as they are released. Now it's time for you to let me know if you've seen these movies and what you thought of them. Let me know down in the comments. Please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. You're doomed to live the life
Lord.